Episode 21. And the crew's back. And Dale, he's done talking to himself. I don't know why he did that. Like
multi-person.
Yeah, he's over there talking to himself. For what reason, Dale? I don't know. But okay. I'm glad you got that out your system. Anyway, it's me, Anthony, the King, the Lion. You know who it is. And y'all can just introduce yourself, because I ain't doing it. Just worried about me.
What's the deal? This is Dale Cole. Welcome to episode 21.
And I am Yanni Perez. Welcome.
You met this guy already.
I'm very arrogant. I don't care.
Welcome back, man.
How dare you do a show with yourself, by yourself, for yourself, without yourself, with yourself?
That's how we do it. We can do bad all by ourselves, right, people? Yeah. I heard you guys showed up. Someone said something about, what do you call it?
What?
Jehovah's Witnesses. Sent them away. Said, oh, there's a Puerto Rican, the black dude trying to sell me Jesus or something.
Probably. So, yeah, we was gone for a little bit, but now we back. Well, Dale was here.
We was September.
Gone. We had, you know what I'm saying? We wanted to, finish out that last little summer, little week, and then now we back on the grind.
You finish up the summer. What did you do for finishing off the summer?
For finish up the summer, to be honest with you, I just chilled and got the mind right. You know what I mean? Like right before the summer, I like to just chill out, whatever. Get your mind right. Sometimes your mind be, the summer got you, feeling like you forgot about what winter and fall is going to be like. It's about to be cold, dog. It's about to be cold.
It's awesome.
So you because your name's Theodore, right? So you gathered a bunch of nuts. Put a big pile of nuts all up in the corner of the basement. Is that
really?
Is that what you did?
Tails? Really? Chippendale? Really? Chippendale?
You don't have to, that made you upset? I didn't mean to get you upset.
I'm cool, dog. I'm cool. I mean, I ain't gonna argue with somebody.
Between you two.
I ain't gonna argue with somebody who talks to himself and has fights with himself. If he tied up himself. He tied up himself. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Very concerned.
Whatever you say, dog, I'm not gonna argue with you.
I mean, I strongly suggest therapy.
Well, hey, maybe I should took a little vacation to get my mind right. Is that what?
Mind right? Okay, yeah.
No, that wasn't me, man. Hey, man, technology. That's how it goes, man.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't, man. It was young me.
Cool, yeah.
It was young me, man.
It was young you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, but I'm glad you guys are back, because let me tell you, man, that took a lot of energy. See, I like to sit here and just watching you guys. You know what I mean? Yap and
Well, all I gotta say is the young you whipped your ass, and I was like, get him, nigga. Whip that ass. I was like, yeah. You was sitting there just looking like a family man, and the young you looked like he sell drugs. I was like, I like the young you. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the Don Lemon looking you, or whatever you want to call it.
Speaking of Don Lemon, yo, that Sheriff Coon got a lot of play out there in cyberspace.
Yes, a lot of y'all liked it, and we got some good news. Y'all liked it, so we got some more coming up soon.
Yes.
Give them what they want. People are asking us to do a few things. We have some requests, and I think we're going to honor a couple of them.
We're going to honor a couple of them, so, I'm not going to give you a taste of the sheriff, but,
Nah, we got to hit them.
So all the comments were positive mostly?
No.
No.
We learned something, though. The overwhelming majority was definitely positive. We got a lot of positive feedback, but what we see is whenever you do something that people really love, because we felt like we got a lot of love for that video, you're gonna have an equal amount of people that really hate it. So if you put something out there and it inspires people so much to actually comment, like, and share something, that means they really are feeling it. But on the other side, you're gonna have people that equally, want to dislike, comment, and hate, which is good.
All
so you gotta have
I
both.
saw one comment and I don't really like it. Dude was a hater.
What do you say?
I forgot what he said because I had to dismiss it in my mind.
We pop them up. I want to see what they say.
We'll
you want to see some of the comments?
Yeah,
I think it'll be good.
Pop them up. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll pop them up. They'll be right over here. Right there. Anyway.
I don't have my phone.
Yeah, you don't have your phone. That's because you didn't pay the bill. Anyway,
well, my battery.
Oh,
I didn't shut off.
You know who got your phone?
Who?
The old you got your phone.
Yeah,
because he had a pager. He came here with a pager. And he was like, "Whoa,
yeah."
Well, he's back. He's back in the day with a cell phone and nobody to call. So,
yeah, man. All right, so unbelievable fact. Today, I don't want. I like to call it unbelievable fact, but whatever. There's a lot of things that have been going on with the national anthem. So I took it upon myself to actually look up the national anthem. And I got to say, I was actually amazed by what I found. There's a racist verse in the national anthem. Not the one that they sing today because it's edited, but the whole national anthem.
So you actually found it?
Yeah, I actually found it. And it's pretty racist. It's pretty racist. So it gives, it blew my mind. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm curious. What is it?
Well, what?
Like,
you got to know the history.
In a nutshell. What's it
in a nutshell, okay, I give it to you in a nutshell. And what the history was is, how the Star Spangled Banner came about is, I think was his name, Sir Francis Scott Key, I want to say. I think that's his name.
Sounds familiar.
If I messed it up, my bad. Whatever, normally. But anyway, I think that's his name.
You're unpatriotic. You don't love America.
I don't. No, I'm playing. Anyway, but what ended up happening was they had a war going on in like 1814 or 1812, around there. Don't quote me on the times, whatever, but I'm still giving you the facts. So they was having a war, whatever, and the British had people prisoners of war, and so then America had prisoners of war. So Sir Francis Scott Key decided that he was going to negotiate because he was a lawyer. He was going to negotiate, so he went out and to the British. The British had a bunch of ships right near Maryland and everything like that, right near Washington D.C., Maryland area. So they had a bunch of ships or whatever. So he goes out, tries to negotiate with them, like, hey, if you let our prisoners go, we'll let your prisoners go, whatever. But the Admiral of, Great Britain was, he was cool with it. And then he was just like, whoa, hold up. All right, we'll let your prisoners go. But only way we'll let them go is if you surrender the flag, put that flag down, and you kneel to us. And, so they tried to negotiate. It didn't happen. So now, Sir Francis Scott Key, he's on this, ship or whatever. He's talking to the prisoners or whatever. So, they chose not to let the flag down. And because they didn't do that, Great Britain bombed them for like 25 hours. They bombed them like continuous, boom, boom, like they was letting off them clips, boom, 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 boom. So when the song was composed, or the poem, it's actually a poem turned into a song, whatever. When it was composed, it was talking about what actually happened. So you hear the bombs bursting in air. That was, them sending them cannons off. And, when they talk about the flag was still there, Great Britain was trying to knock that flag down, and the flag was still there. Now, that's the story that they tell you, but underneath of that, there's another story that they don't tell you about. Yeah, I did the quotations thing. And that story is that before that all popped off, or whatever, Great Britain had just abolished slavery in their country, supposedly. So when they came to America, they was like, hey, listen, they talked to a lot of, the slaves or whatever, and they, put out, the message like, hey, if you fight for Great Britain, you will be free. We will let you be free after this war. So a whole bunch of slaves that were in America decided to go fight for Great Britain. And the reason why they fought for Great Britain is because they wanted their freedom. So before people go, well, they should have died or whatever because they traded. No, you got to understand, if somebody offers you an opportunity that another person's not, sometimes you got to say, is it worth me staying here and being a slave, or can I be free? So a lot of the slaves was like, you know what? We're going to go and fight for Great Britain. Even though, we don't want to be a part of this war. It has nothing to do with us. But we're not even looked at as human beings. So they went and they fought against America and, Great Britain, whatever. So they helped with all that other stuff. So now when you're talking about, when Sir Francis Scott Key is talking about, I think that's his name. I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, so when he's sitting there, talking about what happened or whatever, he's talking about, bombs bursting in the air. But there's a verse that he basically talks about that is basically saying in a nice way that all the slaves that are traitors, y'all should meet your death. Like you use the traders, use the slaves, use the refugees, whatever. Basically, you peasants, and basically he's glorifying that they're glad that the slaves were, they died. So it brings me to this: we're supposed to be the country of the home and the brave, and freedom and freedom and freedom. But that song, our national anthem, is racist. And that's why they don't sing that whole part. They don't sing that part or whatever. So it changes my view of the national anthem. The Star Spangled Banner. It totally does for me. Like I said, I never was a big fan of the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem. But after I got the history of the national anthem, I don't know how I feel about it when I hear it now. I'm going to be honest with you. It puts me at ease because I know, what I know. I heard the original part. I saw the verse. What I said wasn't word for word, but you can check it, Google it yourself. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care for the national anthem after hearing the original.
So that was in a nutshell. That was a big nut.
I told you he was gathering mad nuts for the winter. Theodore.
All right, first off, it was a big nut because you know what I'm saying? That's what I do, baby. And I do gather nuts because some people's mouths need to be filled. I came back acting a fool. So that's.
So does it say when did they take it off? Because I think maybe the United States realized, you know what, this is pretty racist. This is not what we represent anymore. But
the national anthem became the national anthem in 1931. But from 1914 to 1931 is where it started to get its momentum, and in 1931 it became the national anthem. But you got to think by 1931, slavery is not existing or whatever. So let's be real. It was like, you know what? Let's cut it short because even without that verse, the national anthem is like 5 minutes long.
I don't think
Star Spangled Banner. That's what it's really.
I don't think they cut it short for us. They cut it short because they was like, you know what?
They don't want to be embarrassed.
The baseball games are taking way too long. We need to cut these baseball games down.
No, the reason why they cut it short, but they cut it short because of that.
Really?
Let's put it this way. It's kind of like, you don't want that reputation on you. Because think about it. If you was black and you heard that as your national anthem, would you think about how many singers that are black that be, oh, say you. Imagine having to sing that part. I don't care how much they paid me. I wouldn't. So, they had to cut it.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah, write some notes. There you go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you tore that national anthem up. That was very unpatriotic.
My mama sang and my sister sang. I ain't got to sing. I ain't got to sing. Okay?
Really? Well, leave it to them. Leave it to them because you hacked up the anthem, man. That was very unpatriotic.
I almost sing it good. After I heard what I done heard, I ain't gonna.
So that was your unbelievable fact in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
A big nut.
Yes, because I'm black, so we got them big nuts. Okay.
He's going there.
You the one that you can't give me an invitation. I'm gonna take it. All right, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good fact. That brings us because there's a lot going on this week related to that. So what's his name? What's the football player's name?
Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick,
yeah.
Him.
Yeah, and he's
quarterback for
San Francisco 49ers, number 7.
49ers. Huh?
49ers. I gotta say, I like the 49ers. They're not my favorite team, but. I'll cheer for them. Not because of Kaepernick or whatever. I like the 49ers from way back in the day when they used to battle, with the Cowboys and stuff like that. They had that thing going in the 80s.
I just like them because of the video game. Remember? You used to get Ronnie Lott and run back.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, on Tecmo Bowl? Yeah. I used to be the Raiders, man, because you had Bo Jackson and you had what the heck is his name? Allen, damn. Anyway, but you have Bo Jackson, and you get Bo Jackson, boy. Mm-hmm. You could run all day. Nobody mess with Bo Jackson. She's like, what the heck y'all talking about?
You play video games out there? Oh, you guys have Barbie and stuff.
Yeah, they didn't play
I played video games. I was a tomboy. I did.
What'd you play?
I played video games.
What? There's no video game called video games.
I knew she was going to say Atari.
Sorry.
That's I knew she was going to go there.
Old school.
No. Hey.
What'd you play? What is it? What's the other one? Pong?
Pong? That's not even, that's too old.
You couldn't play that on paper.
It was so exciting to see the TV and see that you had control on the TV. That was exciting.
You had a TV in a Puerto Rican household?
Yes.
Well,
I did.
Was it black and white?
We had the color. No, wait, hold on. How do we do this?
You got a television screen on right now.
The big one that was like a console furniture, and then on top of that, we had the little one.
Oh, one for sound, one for. I got you.
Yeah, it's stacked up.
Cool.
But I remember we had color. It was cool. No, I did. I played Atari, and after that, we played Nintendo. I had Donkey Kong and things like that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I can't front. They got a. Speaking of that,
Zelda.
Speaking of that, they're gonna have a Nintendo miniature one coming out, and not that I'm promoting it or whatever, but I can't wait because I'm gonna mess with that a little bit, just to mess, get my childhood back.
You're gonna be like, yo, this is whack.
Yeah.
You ever play old video games? You're like, this is whack.
I don't know. I be playing them, but I don't play video games like that. My life.
Galago's my favorite.
So
what is it?
Galaga.
Galaga. Right.
Why she put
that's your favorite?
Why she?
I used to like Galaga.
You missed out on a lot of games. But in New Hampshire, don't they got this place called Fun Spot?
Yeah, I live like 15 minutes from my home.
You ever been there?
It's fun.
No, because I don't go to New Hampshire like that.
Listen.
I think I've been to New Hampshire 4 times in my life.
Yo, when you get your ankle
and I felt
bracelet
very uncomfortable.
when they let that ankle
when
bracelet
you're allowed
off.
to get out of the States.
Yo, Fun Spot. It's kind of outdated, but they got everything there.
They have batting cages and they have a golf range.
We don't care about that. But the video games they got.
These two?
They got everything there.
Like to go to whack places.
Fun Spot is fun.
Right. They have the good video games.
Yeah, all of the video games.
They have Miss Pac-Man, they have all of it.
Also got, okay, cool, yeah.
Do you like Pac-Man?
I'll never pack no man. Never. Don't you ever ask me that question, do I pack, man? Hell no. That's gay.
Well,
I'm in one of those rare moods today.
He is. See what happens when it goes away?
He said, that's gay.
But anyway, so
Kaepernick.
Yes.
First of all, someone said he wasn't white. I mean, he wasn't black.
I'm going to go back to one of our previous episodes. He might be an octoroon or he might be an octoroon or a quintaroon or a quoctoroon, but he's definitely
his last name is unique. I thought it was Polish.
Kaepernick.
Yeah. I think I personally I think he was adopted. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this.
First of all, man, who's the dude that said he wasn't? There was a football player from
that said he wasn't black.
Yeah, the football player from Boston, right?
I don't know. Oh, but the Patriots.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, he's the old. I know who you're talking about. I seen it in the thing. Yeah. He was retired now.
So
he said he's not black, but no, he's a mulatto or he's a biracial.
So
that's obvious.
What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah. I mean, well, no, you know why? Because I'm gonna tell you.
No, I mean not you. I mean, what does it matter?
What it have to do? I'm gonna tell you what it has to do. You got a lot of you're gonna tell us. Go. No, you got a lot of athletes that it just comes down to the shades. Remember I was talking about this in I'm darker, I'm black, or whatever the case may be, and you got these different situations.
So what I'm trying to say, he's not black enough to protest on behalf of the black community.
But you got to think this.
That's what I'm saying.
That's bull because like Bob Marley, you know what I'm saying? He was half white.
We pick and choose.
You can't pick and choose you can't pick and choose who's going to stop the brother.
Isn't Malcolm X like an octoroon?
Well, he had red hair. He did have like reddish hair.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, a lot of people don't know that within black DNA, whatever, you can produce red hair. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely was mixed.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no one's gonna, saying Malcolm X never gonna say that.
But here's the thing, it shouldn't matter if you're a dark cup of coffee or you an extra. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't matter.
Caramelito.
Yeah, caramelito, whatever. If you a honey nut, hazel, French vanilla, you within the shade. We know. Put it this way: you either you in that shade of really black to there. And then there's the other stuff. So, but I don't think he should have hated. I don't know, personally.
Yeah, I think, especially if the dude's doing something that you weren't doing. You look at it, know your name. I get to call you out. But you weren't doing it. Mm-hmm. You took your money and I don't know what you did with it. But this guy, like he said, if I had to lose my money, at least I stood up for something. Pride and dignity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But see, it goes back to, a lot of people don't know this is new because it's in, this era and there's a lot of different, social media, all type of the internet and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But there was athletes that done this before. There was a player in 1995, 96. He was a Muslim and he refused to stand up for the national anthem. And that ruined his career. There was another basketball player that played with Michael Jordan. I forgot his name. He felt as if Michael Jordan should make a stand because of, who he was or whatever, and he chose not to. But this player lost his career. He does have a ring with Michael Jordan, but after that, he lost his career. Back in the 70s when it was Olympics, because Olympic just passed, they had a brother. He won the Olympics, put his black fist up while the national anthem was there. He lost his wife. His wife, his career went a little bit shaky, whatever. Then you have Muhammad Ali, who refused to go into the service, and they took him of his title, stripped him of his title, and took the best years away from him in his prime. So, I mean, it goes to show that if this is freedom of speech, and especially that everybody's so touchy about the national anthem, what freedom do you have if you can't exercise it without getting punished? Because let's be real, Colin Kaepernick's going to get punished for this.
Well, I know that. I think the 49ers says that it's not based on what he did; it's based on the fact that he's not playing his best. That his best is gone. That's what I read. What? That's a piece that I read. That they're not basing it like. Well, with Kaepernick, they got to the Super Bowl. They got to the Super Bowl a couple years ago and they lost. They lost to the Ravens. So you know what I mean? To say that he's not playing his best, they chose him. They had another quarterback. I think his name was Alex Smith, and they traded him to Kansas City. So and they rolled with Kaepernick and they went to the Super Bowl. So to say that he's not he's not a Tom Brady or whatever, but he's a good quarterback. He got you to the Super Bowl. Nobody can be a Tom Brady.
Yes, you can be a Tom Brady. All you got to do is let air out your balls and cheat. Anybody can do that. Sorry, not a Patriot.
So you're a football Tom Brady fan?
I just think he's beautiful. I'm not into football. I'm sorry, but I got my first Patriot shirt last year. So
that's awesome.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome. Me, I got better things to do than worry about Tom Brady.
Yeah. So. But yeah, man.
So I'm glad you like him.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what this dude is standing up for, man. He even had a Malcolm X fitted hat on with the Malcolm X shirt on. That had the ruler from I forget his name. I'm terrible with names because I know so much stuff. I forget stuff. Castro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What to do with the hat?
Yeah, Castro from Cuba.
That's not so. Not so. He's
from Cuba.
Right. It's Che. Like the one. That's the gentleman that.
Yeah, in the picture. No. In the picture, no, not the person that went against him. He had a Malcolm X hat on, and he had a picture with Malcolm X with the ruler of Cuba.
It wouldn't be the ruler of Cuba.
Oh well, ruler or whatever he. I'm
thinking it's
it's your people.
And he went against Fidel Castro.
Well, he was chilling with Fidel Castro.
I gotta see the shirt.
He was chilling with Fidel Castro. Some people don't like Fidel Castro. I do, because how they representing him is bull. I like Fidel.
I'm gonna stay quiet.
Yeah, stay quiet.
You don't have to though.
He's not a good person.
He's not.
Wasn't a good person.
Hey, if he could hang without, if Malcolm X could go see him, he had to be good for a reason. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of Cuban people probably suffered or whatever, but I'm gonna just say it like this.
Yeah.
I personally don't think that story is being told correctly. I'm just gonna say that. I think it's probably miscued or slightly messed with or whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Until you live there, though, you cannot really.
Exactly.
So I know people
who went through it, whatever. Like I said,
and no, he is not a good person. Maybe rotten in infierno.
Okay, so we'll talk about Kaepernick.
Yep, he was just like I said. He was expressing. I have to say, you guys have rubbed about me. Remember how I used to be so thing about voting, and you have to vote. If you don't vote, you voted.
You changed your mind.
I have a change of heart.
Oh, we started to wear off on you. I have a change of mi corazón.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that so for me, I know, especially that I'm Puerto Rican, and it's a sense of pride. So the American flag, I think it's a personal choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I choose, right, to stand, to put my hand on my heart, no, because it has a different meaning for me than it does for other people, right?
Yeah.
Because my dad migrated here, 60 years ago to work, and they were poor in Puerto Rico, and he came here for work, so it means different for me, for us, because he went from a bad situation to better his life, and then he had children and family here. Mm-hmm. But also freedom of speech. So if he chose not to stand, then that's his right. And I also read another article where where it said coming from droves of military folk, veterans are actually supporting him.
Yeah,
because I saw some really beautiful things, like, I fought for this country, and some of them were pretty direct about Black Lives Matter, but they were saying, like, he has the right. I fought for his right to not stand. Yeah. And so it's very cool.
But see,
they didn't get it twisted.
I'm gonna tell you, I have a little situation with people that, like, they get all in their feelings. Don't get me wrong. I work with veterans every day. So when I say this, it's because I heard it and I spoke to veterans. I deal with veterans of World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, and that's it right now because I work in the Rhode Island Veterans Home for the veterans. Anyway, so this is how I feel. A lot of people, when they go, how could he not stand up for the national anthem, and you got our soldiers overseas fighting for freedom? Okay, let's think about every war. Let's think about every war. This last one, Iraq. Was our country not free? Was we having problems with freedom? No, we went into Iraq for a whole nother situation. What, to grant somebody else's freedom? Well, no, because how your vision of what you think is free might not be for them.
Pulls out another country
on a country. Sure. Let's be real. You went in there for business. For business. And I have friends that were in that war. Shout out to my main man, Dwayne. I call him D-Wade. That's my boy, Dwayne Williams. Shout out to my boy, Cindy Dugard. Shout out to my boy, Akeem. They all were in the military. Shout out to my boy, Charles Austin. They all did their thing and, whatever. And I would talk to them and be like, how you doing, brother? A lot of times these soldiers would go in there, don't even know what they're fighting for. But you're talking about freedom. What freedom was there in the Iraq War? What freedom was there you fighting for in the Gulf War? What freedom was we fighting in Vietnam? What freedom was we fighting from World War I and II? We were already established. And it wasn't freedom for black people because we were still fighting. If you was a black person, you fought at Vietnam, right? You was discriminated here. You go fight a war that has nothing to really do with your people. You come back here and you're still being discriminated?
Yeah, people think that being a patriot means blindly following. Like, so I think what how I translate what guys like Kaepernick is saying.
I love what you say that.
It's like, yeah, we appreciate America and the flag represents something, but we're not living up to that flag. So until we live up to what the flag represents, then I'm not saluting the flag is what we're saying. We're not saying that we don't believe in what America stands for,
right.
But we are not living up to what
it's supposed to be.
What it's supposed to be and what we say. We say we're doing
freedom
it,
is not for everybody.
But we're not.
So it's not waving freedom for everybody.
And freedom also comes with a price. Freedom has also come with a price. Because look, he said something that we supposed to have freedom of speech, and there's people out here calling him a nigger. And I don't mean the one with the AS at the end. They're calling him a nigger, like a nigger on a racist type tip. And he, just because he wanted to do something and express himself freely, he's being racially profiled. He's being all type of stuff. The poor dude, he probably had to bump up his security now because his life is probably on the line. All because it was something he wanted to say.
Yeah, but I think people, they're very ignorant. They think they know what they're talking about, but they really don't. They don't. There's no such thing as blind patriots. Well, I think they feel they're just going to follow and just do whatever. But I doubt that. I think a lot of people just like to talk too. There's a certain percentage of people that just like to, no matter what you say, they're going to jump on another side and just start talking because they're not doing anything.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Besides just
bumping
talking.
their gums.
Yeah.
But on that, what you were saying, I was scrolling through our Facebook one day, and I seen like one of those little memes or whatever. Memes. I call them whatever. They're stupid. They're pictures with words on them. That's all right. Memes, whatever you want to call them. Memes. And I seen one, and it was a teacher explained that the teacher wrote down the times tables, and she put the first one wrong on purpose, and then did all the rest of them correct. And the whole class laughed at her, and was like, you're a teacher, and you missed the first one or whatever. And she was like, well, this is a lesson. People will never give you credit for all the stuff that you did right. They will always point out something that you did wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, that's deep. That's deep. And she did it in a simple way. It was like 9 + 1, she put 7. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or 9 times 1, she put 7. It's supposed to be 9. It was the timetables. Yeah. And all the class noticed that. But that's how it is. Like, people,
it's a great lesson,
it's a great lesson, but people always want to point out what you did wrong. You could slap a baby by accident. Maybe you fell and slapped the baby on the cheek or whatever. So people are gonna scream at you about that. But you could donate millions to every hospital that delivers babies, and they'll be like, "Remember when Anthony smacked that baby? Even though he donated $5 billion, he didn't have to smack that baby. That's probably why he donated all that money." I'm like, I fell. I reached out and smacked the baby on the face. My bad, baby. I don't smack babies in real life unless they're my own babies.
Pretty good example, though. I hear you, though. I hear you.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. People are going to talk. People are going to want to say what they're going to say, whatever. But I personally feel like we, as a country, as a people, as whatever, we really need to learn our history and not the history that they feed you. And maybe it'll change your mind.
I thought that way since I was in high school.
Yeah. Because you got to know where you came from to know where you're going.
I will not I will not celebrate Columbus Day. I will not anything about that. I think it's hypocritical.
Celebrate?
Well,
I don't go to work.
Huh? So then don't go to work.
I'm staying home.
But I mean, look, I remember how my kids would come home with the pilgrim hat or the Columbus thing, and I'd be like, so I said, let me sit down, let me tell you the real history. Yeah. The real how they they raped and killed. A lot of the natives from the Caribbean, Taino Indians, the Arawaks. And it was very abusive. And they were thugs.
It's not even just Puerto Rico. There's a whole bunch of...
all of the Caribbean.
All the Caribbean.
And Haiti and the Dominican Republic. The Taino and the Arawaks were in all that area.
That whole area, man.
Looking for the golds for the queen. And it wasn't even for his own country because he's Italian. So the Spaniards, Spain bought... his
he had
thugs and he did bad things. So things like that. Miss history.
I'll tell you what I think about America, though. My thing is, right, the thing I value is that we have an opportunity to be a great country. Right? We have an opportunity to be a great country. We are not a great country, right? But I think we're great because we have an opportunity to be great. A lot of countries right now, they don't really have a path forward or an opportunity to move forward, right? Because there's a lot of things standing in the way. I think the only thing standing in our way is really us. It's really us, and I think that's what's the biggest point of frustration. It's really, we complain about the government. We always say the government. Like, we always talk about it like it's a separate entity, like it's something separate. We are the government, right? We control that. All we have to do is stand together on something. We stand together on nothing.
And vote or not
nothing. Vote. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, the funny part is, I got to say this too. There was this. I don't care. I'm gonna say this. When the Kaepernick thing happened, whatever, there was a lot of black people upset with him, and I'm like, why are you upset with him doing what he did? I'm like, don't coon. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, find your information out before you know what I mean? I'm like, the brother got a Malcolm X hat on. Then you like you said, the other dude was like, well, he ain't really all that black. Like,
but he did it in a nonviolent way, right?
Yeah, I'm like, well, don't do that.
Yeah. That's something
don't do that.
Martin Luther King was like, we're going to do it nonviolently.
Don't do that. Do your research first.
In doing that, it was the loudest action against the country that supposedly, says that we're free for all, but we're not.
And we're hypocrites. We're weird because when someone does take up violently, they say, "Oh, you should do something non-violently." So when someone says, "Okay, I will have a seat," then it's like the worst thing in the world. It's like we can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? We have to find something, stick to something, and go with that. But we don't have any principles. It's just like if you jump on one side, they're gonna jump on the other. It's like everyone wants to be the devil's advocate, right? You go on one side, they're gonna jump on the other. So it's like I kind of feel like none of that's it's always gonna be the same. right? It's always going to be, no matter what, you're always going to have, I don't know if it's 50-50, but you're always going to have a certain half that's going to hate and a certain half that's going to appreciate it. Or you could be on the other side, just half's going to appreciate your view. Like, take Donald Trump. I was talking to, I was at a show talking to a young guy the other day. Like, take Donald Trump, right? You may say, look, Donald Trump is like dividing people, but in order for him to get so much love, like you saw the video earlier, they were at the rally, they were slamming dudes, fighting, you know what I'm saying? Because they love Donald Trump and what he stands for so much. But in order for him to get that much love, he has to have these people on the other side that hate him that much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the middle, you're safe. You're like Bernie. And where's Bernie? Right? No one's that passionate about him. He's not even in the picture. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? As soon as someone comes up and it's like so radical or so extreme, he's able to, you're going to split and you're going to lose a half, but you're going to get a half that's so dedicated to you. You know what I'm saying? So basically you have to piss people off. The rule of what? Homeostasis? You know? Is that the rule of homeostasis?
Isn't it?
Is it?
I might be wrong, but you know, like you said, even with your video, you have people that hated it and people that loved it. Yeah. You for it, against it.
And I think even it's like a lesson. Like when I'm thinking about this, even for the comedy, you know, like you mentioned in one of the live videos you were doing, you say, hey, I might lose a lot of friends for doing this, but it's like you have to go in. You can't go in the middle and say, I'm gonna please everybody. Right. Yeah. You have to go all in, go hard. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. These few people gonna walk out. Right? They're gonna walk out.
Certainly did.
But the people that stay are gonna be ones that roll with you. Or, you know what I'm saying? If you're just in the middle, they're gonna say, he was cool, and then you're gonna be forgotten. Yeah. So that's the lesson I'm getting from, you know what I'm saying? Just you gotta piss people off.
You cannot please everybody for sure.
I can. Okay. No, I'm playing. Now, what I got from the whole thing is too, like I said, I did a couple of little live videos or whatever, and like I said, you know, I know, you know, some people get upset.
Good. I saw your live videos.
Yeah, I tried it out. I kind of like it. I'm gonna mess with them. But what at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what? We have to know where we've been to figure out where we should go.
So and that we won't repeat history.
We won't repeat history. Mm-hmm. And that's all I keep seeing right now.
Yes.
Is every generation just keeps repeating. Like, you know what I mean? We're still dealing with racism and all type of stuff now. You know, my parents dealt with it in the 70s. Their parents dealt with it in the 40s and the 30s and the 40s. And then their you know what I mean? It's just a vicious cycle. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, who's the one that's going to hurt from it? All of us. Because the country's going to go to shit. You know, we're going to keep going on and things, you know. It's time to put the war down. I don't think
we'll ever go to shit.
No, it is. It is.
I think, it is. But going on with the opportunities that you were saying, that people come here because they don't have the same opportunities that, like, people don't realize how really good we have it here. And so they come here because we have the opportunity to be better, and people come from other countries because of the opportunities to become better, and they become better, but then they get criticized, and they get chastised, and you're stealing our jobs. No, you don't. You know,
you don't want to work them. This is how I see it. You don't want to work
the fields. You don't want to pick up. You know, I'm not going to switch. I don't want to do the switch job, but you don't want to pick up stuff off the. You know, they're doing the slimiest and the toughest of the jobs because nobody wants to do them. But they do that, and a lot of them do that with their children in mind, sending money to their countries, or having children here. I mean, I don't know. It's people.
You know what? There's
a lot of missed opportunities, and people need to take opportunities.
This is how I feel. America, you want to be the superpower of the world, right? United States, you want to be the superpower of the world, and but you know what? I give a damn. Swear to God. If you want to be the superpower of the world, then fucking act like it. We're the only country that has one language, because if you don't, you speak another language, you need to learn English. Well, English comes from England, so. Hello, and we're supposed to be a melting pot. So
you don't want to be a melting pot, though. You don't want to assimilate. Mm-hmm. No. I never like that phrase.
Well, that's what they say. I don't like the word melting pot. Whatever.
In other words, that's saying losing your culture and all become one.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't like it.
You want to assimilate. You want a culture.
That's what they keep saying. No, my whole thing is, together. You know, blend. No, I don't say blend or whatever, but I'm just saying lead by example. We got all these other countries that look up to us, and we're one of the most racist countries, and all this other stuff. We should worry about our education.
I think Spain is very racist.
Spain is racist. Here's the thing: the reason why they don't tell you it's not racist because America don't want to look racist. If you have, all right, if you say it's not racist, well, look at your national anthem. They got some shit you had to cut out because you're racist. Anyway,
but that was done in the 1800s. I
don't give a damn if it was done in. All right, if it was done in the 1800s and you knew about it, instead of cutting that little piece out, make a whole new song.
America is racist.
It's racist, man. But we just don't want to look like that because we want to appeal to the rest of the world as, hey, we're all tough and almighty, and we're not.
It's racist.
It's racist, man, because you talk to other people in other countries like Brazil, it's a racist country. Everybody got whatever, but we're one of the ones that we try to act like we're not, and we are. Yeah. And anyway, but all I gotta say is we gotta lead by example. It means we gotta get our judicial system better, the government better, learning better. Everything needs to be better, and then we need to stop all this war. Like, can we have like a good year where it's just peaceful? Like, if somebody died, they die naturally. You know what I mean? Like, just live in peace. Can we try it for like a good 3 months? And everybody just be like, let's just be peaceful, man. Just be peaceful. If somebody dies, it might have been because of a crazy accident or whatever. But, can we just live in peace for just like 1 month and just see how it goes? And then we might like it and be like, we can chill out. But everybody got to be violent and I'm against you or whatever. Yeah. It's dogma. It's dogma. That's it. I'm done.
Yo, this is the money I owe.
yo, he waited till I got done or whatever. And he was like, I
know I never put in, but I want to make sure I wasn't trying to stiff the jar.
Yeah. This is mostly mine anyway.
Yeah.
You have a few, but that's mostly mine. Well, I owe a quarter, huh? Y'all get that quarter.
I think we said the S word a couple of times today, so I owe now.
Yeah. How did this come about? Like, we ended on a grand note, and then everybody's come out like I said, let's live in peace, and y'all just hit that like y'all are guilty. Like I was like, let's live in peace. You know what I mean? Like I ended it hard. I'm like, I'm done. Everybody live in peace. And then as soon as I said peace,
acknowledge you made a mistake and apologize, and then we have to do an act, and the act is giving money.
So as soon as I said we need to live in peace, Dale's like, last week, man, seeing how I owe this much, and then you like, well, I did swear. Everything got like peaceful. Everybody did the kumbaya. Okay, cool. See how it works, people? See, as soon as you say peace, people get honest.
Smith for president in 2016.
Y'all don't want me as president. You don't want me as president. I make it mandatory that you have to learn more than this country have to have more than one language, because I feel like we are in America. We other countries are doing way better than us, and we need to get out of our ways. We should learn more languages.
The main reason why I hope Puerto Rico never becomes a state, because
we got to step up our game, and we're America. We win the Olympics, we do good, right? Because we make sure we take it to a high expectation, and it should be like that all across the board. It should be like that with our racism, with our government. We should always be looking to improve, not stick in the same system or only
we need to start with the education.
All aspects. Change that damn national anthem. Gonna be saying stuff about the slaves. That hurt my feelings, man.
They pulled it out.
I don't care. It's all right. It's kind of like you got a bad song or whatever.
Like the Bible, right? They have the Old Testament.
Oh, please don't go there. We're not
that's a whole nother thing.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like the radio. It's kind of like I'm gonna have to pay.
So long ago.
Yeah, but they're still saying how good slaves are,
but it's like this. That's like long ago. The things people don't think that way.
No, it's like a song on the radio.
I mean, they used to give virgins to the volcanoes and things like that back in the day. But Indians, if you go to the museum in Puerto Rico, they used to.
I bet nice word.
Have you been to the museum?
Yeah, I'll show you pictures.
They used to bury virgins with the caciques, which is chief in Taino language, so that when they go to the next world, they have their girl with them.
Hey.
Things like that don't exist anymore, which I hope.
Well, there's other stuff that's even worse than that. But anyway, I feel like this is with the national anthem. It's kind of like when you hear a rap song on the radio. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be a gangster rap song, right? Oh, somebody happened. Jump right in the seat. Bad right? You have a...
Hi.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Dale. Hey, Dale. It's kind of like when you have a song on the radio, right? And you know it got swears in it, and they try to. Hey.
You got the captain's chair.
Yeah, you can sit over there for that. Hold your. It's kind of like this man.
Oh shit!
It's kind of like when you hear a song.
I'm gonna switch chairs with you. Go ahead. This is
You're gonna
fun.
switch. Yeah, we should do it. We're gonna play musical
so
chairs.
You're Dale. So be quiet. Go.
Oh.
I think everybody should learn how to speak French, man. Because you can talk to the ladies.
I don't even
like
sound
that
like that. I don't even sound like that.
All right, deep it up.
Hold on, Dale. Can you let me get one of your ugly shirts that look retarded?
That's true.
I need an ugly shirt that you have. One of them real ugly ones.
I gotta get mine.
Wait.
Oh yeah, that's how I do. I be on that.
Boom! I'm done.
Spoof, though. I gotta get all into it. Yeah, I think everybody should speak. You know what I mean? Like different languages and stuff. You know what I mean?
I am.
Wait, hold on. It's my turn. I'm done. Sit. Actual rules are us.
You know what? I see what this is. Y'all trying to make fun of me.
No.
You know what?
No, don't take it like that.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
This country. That's all I can do.
All right, we're done here, guys. Check y'all out the next episode. It got crazy all of a sudden. All right, guys. Peace out, man. See you guys in the next episode. What the heck was that?
I missed it.
I couldn't do it.
I missed it.